Hey guys, this is John with the Money Man channel. Thank you so much for joining. This is going to be the first video that I'm creating that is actual content for you guys to utilize. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is Excel. And specifically in Excel is VLOOKUP. YouTube is so blessed right now to have me create this video because there is nothing out there that I've seen that is straightforward, intuitive, and really helpful for someone trying to actually do a VLOOKUP in Excel. So let's get to it. You want a VLOOKUP. When we're doing VLOOKUPs here, we really need a unique identifier. And what a unique identifier means is something in two Excel spreadsheets that are exactly the same so that we can pull in certain fields from one and move it to the other. So for example, I have two spreadsheets. In column A, we have EID. That simply just means employee ID. And if I go to the other spreadsheet, it also has EID. So what we're going to use is the employee ID to move the birth date field over to the other spreadsheet, but next to gross pay. So this is a scenario maybe where you're working and you have two spreadsheets and you can't go one by one. That's just not feasible to, go one by one and try to type it in when you have hundreds of thousands of lines of data. So this is just a shortcut, an easy way to simply move the data. All right. So if we're going to use birth date, for example, and we want to move it to the other spreadsheet here, you always want to start your formula by doing equals and then VLOOKUP, okay? Now it's open and ready to use. The second thing we're going to do is we're always going to highlight the first column in both spreadsheets. So what that means is click on A. You really want to hold on to the first column, everything in it. You're going to click and highlight, okay? And then you're going to hit comma. Then you're going to go to your other spreadsheet. And now this is saying we're going to use column A in the first spreadsheet, and now let's also use A in the second spreadsheet, but we want to pull in a specific column, which is D. So what you do is you click and drag into the spreadsheet of the data you want to pull. And as you can see here, it's showing a weird formula with a bunch of numbers and then X for C. And what 4 means is the amount of columns you moved left to right. Keep that in mind. That's very important. All right, so we highlight it, and now what we're going to do is utilize that number 4, and we're going to do comma 4, which is the column we want to pull in, and then comma 0. So if you look at the Excel formula here, it's saying we're looking at column A in our first spreadsheet. Okay, then there's a colon. We're looking at column A in the second spreadsheet through column D, which is the fourth column. So that's why we have our number 4. And 0 means we just want an approximate match. Okay, 0 or 1 means true or false. So I always do 0. It's always going to pull in the data as long as you did the VLOOKUP correctly. All right. Now we're going to hit enter. And now as you can see, it pulled in some data. And I'm going to go ahead and click and drag this down. And then this is just going to look not formatted correctly because it's not in a date format. But now if you look, I switch it from general to date, and now it pulled in all the fields. Let's say, for example, you're doing a VLOOKUP and your unique identifier doesn't match between an employee. You're going to get a hashtag NA because it's not going to find the same file number on this spreadsheet as it did in this spreadsheet now that we modified the cells. So please keep that in mind. That's a huge win in terms of VLOOKUP, is just making sure that you have the correct unique identifiers when you're pulling in the data. I also did want to point and show you guys another cool tip and trick, because you're going to have spreadsheets where you're combining two sets of data, but you don't have the same unique identifier. What I mean is that I was lucky enough to have EID on both spreadsheets, but what if for some reason we didn't have EID and we had first and last name only? Then what would we do in that scenario? Well, we can combine first and last name and make that our unique identifier. What I mean is you can do equals and then click on the cells you want to combine and use an ampersand sign. So the and sign, so B2 and C2, enter. So now we have unique identifiers to each employee. There could be a situation where employees have the same first and last name, and then it's pulling in incorrect data. But for the most part, this will work for you guys. So if I do the same thing on the other spreadsheet, right, equals B2 ampersand C2, enter, and go, and then click it all the way down. Now we can VLOOKUP using this formula that you just created, or this unique identifier that you just created, and you can pull in any, say you had like social security number or phone number. You can pull any of these fields because you have a unique identifier to pull from. So just to show you guys, if I were to delete this out, we can still pull in using, right, equals VLOOKUP, highlight all the way down, comma, also highlight all the way down, but drag it across, and now X4C, meaning 4 columns over, comma 4, comma 0. Always remember that, guys. Highlight column A on the first one, comma, highlight column A on the second one, drag it across. The amount of columns you dragged across is going to be your number, comma 0 every time. So just remember that. As you can see, that worked as well. Okay. Please leave any questions, comments, likes, share this video. If you want to see anything else related to Excel, please let me know. I'm happy to create additional content.